Invincible loves showing us how strong Viltrumites are, but every time they do, if you actually stop and think about it, the math gets weird, fast. Like, really weird. So let's talk about the moments where the show's physics just completely fall apart. There's a scene in the first season where Nolan and Mark are playing catch. This is soon after he gets his powers, and they're literally throwing a baseball around the entire Earth. The throw takes roughly 18 seconds. 18 seconds to cover over 40,000 kilometers. That puts the baseball at just 0.74% the speed of light, about 1,400 miles per hour. Sorry, about 1,400 miles per second. And the show just casually shows it flying near a plane, clipping through a mountain, passing through a city. At this velocity, we're not talking about a baseball anymore. It's more like, how do I put this? A meteor flying through the atmosphere? The friction alone would incinerate it mid-flight, but assuming the baseball was fine, if it passed near anything like the plane or the mountain or the cities, they would be obliterated by the shockwave. The kinetic energy involved in this is equivalent to multiple nuclear weapons. But sure, cute father-son bonding moment, right? But that's just a baseball. Let's scale it up. When Alan first comes to Earth and Mark flies up to fight him, he tackles him into the moon. The show shows that it takes 3.28 seconds, and that's pretty quick. In fact, that's 384,000 kilometers in 3.28 seconds. If we do the math, that's 39% the speed of light. That's not just fast, that's relativistic, meaning normal physics don't even apply anymore. We have to use Einstein's equations to calculate what actually happens. If we do the math, we're looking at about 1,500 megatons of TNT. For context, the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated was about 50 megatons. Mark and Alan hit the moon with 30 times that. The crater alone would be visible from Earth with the naked eye. Scientists could even pick up seismic activity worldwide. And they both just get up and move on and just start talking like nothing ever happened. Okay, so we've established that Viltrumites can throw things really fast or fly really fast. But let's scale it up even more. In one of the more insane scenes in the show, Omni-Man is floating above the accretion disk of a black hole. Omni-Man is there for 26 seconds, slowly getting pulled inward, getting dangerously close to the point where not even light escapes. And then he just flies out. Pushes an entire ship away too, by the way. Hey you, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers in order to monetize so I can keep making content like this. According to YouTube, 99% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So please, for me. So let's talk about what's actually happening here. At the accretion disk of the black hole, the tidal forces are absurd. The difference in gravitational pull between your head and your feet would be measured in thousands of tons of force. Your body would be actively stretching apart. This is called spaghettification, which is a real term actually, believe it or not. And the closer you get, the worse it gets exponentially. At the distance that Omni-Man is here, he should be getting literally pulled apart atom by atom. Not to mention the radiation output and the X-rays would be lethal to almost anything biological. All this combined, even for a Viltrumite, he should be dead. Instead, Omni-Man just turns around and leaves, taking an entire Thraxian ship with him. The force required to push that ship out of the gravitational well of this black hole, I mean, we're talking about a significant fraction of the speed of light. Omni-Man just does it with his arms and flying, which, to be fair, I guess this does scale to how fast Viltrumites are able to fly. At least it's consistent. But here's the thing. All of that, the baseball, the moon tackle, black hole, all of that's still within the realm of physics we understand. Broken, sure, impossible, maybe, but at least we can calculate it. What comes next, you really can't. So now we're moving an even bigger step beyond into the realm of... As we know, Viltrumites travel faster than light. This is part of the canon. They fly between star systems, across galaxies, going from Viltrum to Earth, for example, covering distances that would take light itself thousands of years. And they do this in a reasonable amount of time, which means they're moving faster than light. But here's where physics doesn't just break, it collapses entirely. According to special relativity, nothing with mass can reach the speed of light, not because we haven't built fast enough an engine, but because the math literally doesn't allow for it. The only thing that can go faster than light is, well, space itself. But regardless, let's just say Viltrumites can do this, and there's no issue. The implications are still genuinely insane. At faster than light speeds, depending on your reference frame, causality breaks down. And what that means is cause and effect stop being guaranteed to happen in the right order. You could theoretically arrive at your destination before you left your starting point, which means you could send information back in time, which means you can create paradoxes like the grandfather paradox going back to prevent your own existence, and this all becomes a real problem. The show doesn't really address any of these, and I don't blame it for ignoring it. This is kind of hard to comprehend in the first place. Viltrumites can fly across the universe at FTL speeds, and nobody mentions that they're breaking the laws of physics. Look, Invincible's not trying to be a physics lecture or anything like that, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this show. I feel like there's something fascinating about sitting down, running the numbers on what these characters are doing and what we see on screen, because once you do, your favorite characters stop being your heroes and they just start being walking violations of reality, which honestly is way scarier than anyone like Thrag, for example. But subscribe and let me know which one of these broke your brain the most.